and welcome to my channel, Crafting with Shuttermonkey. I'm Amanda, also known as Shuttermonkey, and I live in Yorkshire in the west coast of Scotland. Today is Tuesday the 7th of February and this is episode 22. Other places that you can find me online I will list down below. Save me running through all that. If there's anywhere else you want to find me, you can find it in the description box below, okay? So, did you watch my crochet whip parade last week? 21 crochet whips. I've had some really nice comments for people and suggestions how to work my way through them. But you'll never guess what. I found another 3. So that's 24 crochet whips I've actually got. I'll show you those other 3 today in the crochet section, but I hope I don't find any more. I don't think I've got any more. I really don't. But I really need to work in those for an hour every day. Just work in the crochet an hour every day and try and get through some of those whips this year. Because they're beautiful projects, some of them, aren't they? And it's a shame that they're just lying unfinished. Anyway, let's move on to the knitting section. Jump right into the knitting. Right, first thing I'm going to show you, and you've seen it before, my Doddle sock. But this one is the toe-up version, and this is ready for testing. I think I said 3 weeks ago when I made my last video that I would put the link to the Google form below in the last video. I didn't get around to it. I wanted to finish knitting the large size and the small size myself and see if I could find any other errors in the pattern. So that they're ready to go. They're done. I did show the yarn for this the last time. This is with Yorkshire Spinners yarn. And I do have 2 of the large size. And I've made a start on the, sorry for all the clinking. And the small size are just about done. These are actually still sitting on the double pointed needles. And these are size 325, and I've got another one on another set of 325s. I really, really like these double pointed needles. Sorry, my yarn's in a bit of a fanco. They're just about at the same stage. I think I've got a couple more rows of the cuff to do in that one. But the heels are done. And it's really good that you managed to get the 2 pairs from the 3 balls of yarn. I'll run through the colourways and that again next time, because I'll show you these next time once this has been tested and the pattern's published. So I'll get those cuffs finished and I'll get them blocked and sewn in, and I'll show you them properly in the next episode, okay? But it was all West Yorkshire Spinners yarn, and it's the Bo Peep, the DK, and I know that's a baby yarn, but there is a lot of nylon in it, and I'm just testing it out to see how it works as socks, because it's nice and soft. There's plenty of nylon in it, but I'm worried about how easy it'll wear through. The last ones that I knitted, get this right, the Doddle Socks, the cuff down version, I had knitted an adult size, and my son's been wearing them, and he was round last night and he says they're okay, they're wearing well, they're fine, there's no holes or anything appearing in them already. So these ones will probably go to him as well, and I'm hoping that the little size can go to the oldest grandson, because I did give him the first pair that I made, the cuff down version, but I think they're a wee bit small for him, so I've put an extra few rows into the foot of this one, see if that fits him a bit better. The other ones can get put aside. They can get used for the littlest grandson when he's a wee bit older. He'll grow into them at some point, won't he? But these needles here are the Lykke needles, and I like the pink Lykke needles just because my favourite colour's pink. And these are the 325mm. Now I bought 2 sets of these, and you know I've managed to break 1 needle from each set. So I did have 5 in each set, now I've got 4 in each set. Quite annoying, isn't it? One of them was an accident. I just pulled the yarn too tight and my hand just slipped and I broke one. And the other set that I was using, I left one of the needles lying on the couch and then went back and sat on it. It couldn't take the weight of my voluptuous backside, so I'm now down to 4 needles in each set, but they work. But I really do like the pink ones. I'm a sucker for anything pink coloured. Right, I'm going to pop these away, But if you are interested in test knitting, it's a DK weight sock and it is toe up, and you don't have to make it a long sock. You can just keep it as a shorty sock. Let me know. I'll put that link to the form below, and if you're interested you could fill it in and let me know what size you want. That'll all be on the form. This yarn here was actually Rainbow Fusions. It's a DK weight yarn. It's a superwash merino and 25% nylon, and this colourway was called Unicorn here. I really like this colourway. It's really, really nice. And I really like how this worked up. It's almost like every other stitch is a different colour, and it's all pastel colours. It's just really nice. And the cuff down version, I knitted a full-size sock using my mermaid coloured yarn from, it was the Scales and Tails colourway from the Castleview Yarns advent. Well, I bought another skein and I'm going to do a full-size pair with this. And I might time myself again to see how long it takes. But this is the Far, Far Away colourway, and this is from Biff Sugar Yarns. And again, this is a 75-25, it's superwash merino and it's DK weight. The reason I bought this colourway is because the last full-size pair that I knitted, the cuff down ones, the full-size, I'm going to give them to my daughter. And I thought, well, I'll maybe knit a pair for my daughter-in-law as well. And I was asking my grandson and he said her favourite colour was orange. So this, and she does like lots of colour. So I saw this and I thought, well, there's quite a wee bit of orange in there. She might quite like that. I've not told her I'm knitting them, but we'll see what she thinks of it once they're finished. But it'll be quite interesting to see how that looks once it's caked up, and then also how it knits up as well. Because I'm not very good at judging how yarn looks from the skein and visualising how it's going to look knitted up. But it looks like half of it's orange and the other half's got quite a bit of purple and pink through, so it could be little micro stripes. Soon find out, won't I? And it comes with a little contrast in navy for the heel tone cuff. So hopefully next time I'll have that ready to show you, knitted up, at least one of them anyway. Right, let me just put this out the way. That is all the sock knitting that I've done in the past 3 weeks since I last filmed an episode. But I have started 2 new projects. I know, startitis, I'm telling you. I should go to the doctor and see if they've got a cream for it. Right, so I'm going to show you one of the things that I've cast on since we last spoke. And it is this. I've still got a wee bit of increasing to do. Started down there and you just keep increasing out. This is going to be the centre square for a baby shawl. And it's in this lovely shade of pale pink. It is King Cole Comfort and it is shade 287 pale pink. So this is a shawl for the new baby granddaughter that's due in late spring. So I thought I better make a start on this, because if I leave it too late, it's not going to be ready in time. And you've probably all seen this shawl pattern before. It is this one here. Oh, make sure you're not seeing get the light reflected on it. But it's the square one here in the centre. I think Helen from Sprite 966 is actually knitting a couple of these shawls as well just now. But I think hers are just in the kind of creamy off-white colour. There's a circular version as well. I've never knitted that one before, but I have made 2 of these before. I made one about 10 years ago for Harley before he was born, but I did his in pale blue. And I knitted one maybe about 4 or 5 years ago. It was in Shetland wool and it was the off-white colour, the kind of natural colour. That was for my knitting test with the SWI. One of the things you had to knit for the test was a shawl. So again, I knitted that shawl. I'm just going to pop it back into cellophane. This pattern is actually, both of these patterns, that one there as well. That's quite a nice one, but I've never knitted that one. Oh, I should tell you the make and the number, shouldn't I? It's Peyton's Fairy Tale, and the number is PBNC808. if you're looking for that pattern. This is a really old pattern. It's been on the go for over 100 years. So I'm just going to pop this away. Oh, I found that as well when I was going through my patterns. It's Sardar 4317. See that jumper there, the long sleeve one? My granny knitted me that when I was a wee girl. I loved that jumper. I was gutted when I grew out of that jumper. She knitted one for me and one for my wee sister. And see, when we outgrew them, my wee sister got mine. I was so jealous that she got another one that she could wear. And there's a few patterns in pom-pom magazines that I've purchased the magazine, and I thought, oh, that reminds me of the cardigan, that reminds me of the jumper that my granny knitted me. And then I found that the other day and I went, wow, I've actually got the pattern for that jumper that I love. So I was really pleased that I found that. This pattern here is actually my gran's knitting pattern. It used to belong to my gran, and I keep it in this wee cellophane bag with this wee Polly pocket, I should say. I'll just pop it away while I'm then start talking again. And I keep it in a wee box with all our other knitting patterns that I inherited. And it actually still smells like our house. I can still smell our house off of that wee pattern, which is, it's lovely actually. When you get a wee whiff of it, you think, oh, it smells like my gran's house. So that's what this is going to be. This is going to be a baby shawl. And as I say, pale pink. And I've done it before in a colour. I've done it before in pale blue. And it was really, really nice actually in the pale blue. So I'm only working on it for an hour a day. I've got plenty of time to do this. So I'm working on it for an hour a day and see how far I can get. This is 3.5 hours work. Getting to that stage. So it's going to take me quite a wee while, isn't it? But it would just be interesting to see how many hours work actually goes into knitting one of these shawls. So I thought 1 hour a day, see how quickly you get it done. And I've got a wee chart drawn up because I thought this would help me get organised, you see. Let me see if I can turn this round and let you see it. So this here is going to be my granny square blanket. No, yeah, my granny square blanket. So if I work in it for an hour every day, I'll colour it in. And this one here is for the shawl, an hour a day. Now, as you can see, I'm already behind with the shawl because it's been I've only worked on it for 3.5 hours so far. But I was away on Saturday and Sunday. I was away, so I didn't get to work in it then. I was away teaching a knitting class, and I didn't want to take the shawl with me, and I didn't want to take the blanket, so I took away something else. It was just more portable and easier to work on. So I've got a wee bit of catching up to do. But that's why when I got to those bits there, I've kind of put crosses through those days, but it's just so I can even do an extra 15 minutes or an extra 30 minutes just when you feel like it, and I'll get caught up before the end of the month, hopefully. But that's the plan with that. And I've also done one of these wee charts as well for my Triangulum blanket to help me keep in track with that as well. Because I think some days if you're just sitting thinking, yeah, I've done an hour in that today, some days you forget, some days you don't have time, like if you're away for the weekend teaching knitting classes. So if I get to colour it in, it helps me keep track. Because we really don't want to add any more whips to the list, do we? Right, I did actually draw this up, so March is on there as well. So I've got February and March. So I'm all organised for the next 2 months with the Triangulum blanket. I did start a similar thing like this back in, oh, do I have it here? Back last year, when I was trying to catch up with my Henny Penny Makes blankets. And it's quite nice if you get to colour it in each day. It appeals to me. I know not everybody likes paper versions of things. They prefer maybe an electronic version. But I quite like that. And I did get caught up with my colours because it was orange, yellow and then green I was working on. And I got all my wee crochet scrubbies. I got the last of the tulle used up to crochet scrubbies. And then I started another one in September and did nothing. But in my defence, that's when the knitting classes started back up again, and I was doing one a week. It did take a lot out of me doing those classes, to be honest. I was quite run down by the end of last year. And then I also made another wee chart for my Triangulum blanket. but I'm going to show you that in a wee second when we go on to, I'll tell you what, we'll just do that just now. So, the Triangulum blanket. I did finish the pink in January. I did show you that last month. And I've started working on the purple, the amethyst colourway. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't just call that pink. It's actually garnet. It's the birthstone for January. So all those colours in there are representing a garnet. But that's the garnet colourway from Biff Sugar Yarns. And that was the gemstone for January. This one is amethyst, and it's the birthstone for gemstone for February. So that's the first colourway, and half a hexagon the second colourway, and then the third one, and then the fourth one, and then I've only got one little triangle done for the fifth colourway. But it gives you an idea of what all the colours are looking like so far. Can I hold these all up together, let you see them together as a little set? See all those? Now the reason that I haven't completed a hexagon before I've moved on to the next one is you need to join. So those two hexagons, as I pick up stitches along here, I'll need to cast on one lot of stitches, pick up stitches along here, and then it'll be picking up along the side of the pink, one of the January hexagons to join it on, because it's all joined. You pick up stitches as you go and you join it on as you knit. There's no sewing up at the end. And I did make a wee chart to keep me right. I like my wee charts right now. And I like drawing things out by hand as well. I just used a tiny, I wonder if I take this out of here, you'll maybe see it better, no reflection. I used a tiny little EPP hexagon and just kept drawing around it. Moved the shape along and just kept drawing till I had enough hexagons. But the pink ones, the January ones, are all done. And this is what I've got done of the February so far. And as you see, I need to join on. So that's why I've stopped. I've only got 4 of the first one and I've got 3 so far of the other 3 colours. So I can't do any more in the first one because I need to join it on. And same with these ones, I need to join them on. So that's a wee bit more work, whereas this is quite portable and you can take it away with you if you're away, like at the weekend there. That's the project I took away with me to work on while I was sitting in the evening and on a Sunday morning in a B&B. So I'm quite pleased that I'm actually keeping up with this one so far, because I've got 14 triangles done already and we aren't even halfway through the month. I've got 36 each month to do. So some days I'm going to have to do 2, but I'm quite pleased that I've kept up with it. But the month is still, the year is still young. Plenty of time for me to fall behind, eh? That's how this project is looking so far. And I will, when I do, I'm going to film a whip parade for my blankets at some point, and I will show you this blanket and I'll show you the yarn, close-ups of the yarn, because the colourways are beautiful. This was Biff Sugar Yarns, and this was the club from last year, our precious stones, gemstones, birthstones, I'm trying to say. And I collected it all last year. And this is what I'm using for my blanket. She's doing another one this year. It's, is it flowers? Because I think the January one was Snowdrop. Oh, and this month's pansies. Oh, I do like pansies. Right. Oh, I probably should have said I'm using it's not a 3. It's not a 3. 2.75mm needle to knit up these wee triangles and make it into hexagons. There we go, just in case you're wondering what size of needle I'm using. Oh, and maybe I should have mentioned the shawl. It's a 4mm. No, it's not. It's a 4.5. This is actually 4-ply yarn that I've bought, and the pattern recommended 3-ply. But I'm using 4-ply, so I've gone up a needle size. I did try it on the 4, but it was quite tight, and I wanted it to be more drapey. So I've gone up, because I'm using 4-ply, I've gone up a needle size. Right, I'll pop this one out of the way. I really don't want that one getting dirty. It will need wash before I give it to Mum, but You want it to stay as clean as possible. And the last thing that I have to show you from the knitting section is another new cast on. And this one, this is it here. I hope you can see that pattern on there. It's going to block out beautifully, I think. But this is the Sweet Shop owner. It's a wrap by Whatnot. This is an Australian designer, and I saw this wrap last year on Alexandra from Fiberbound's podcast. She was knitting it up using her Advent mini skeins, and I thought it was stunning. And see that way you keep thinking about it, and every now and again you remember it. So I was feeling sorry for myself last weekend, thinking, oh, the next 2 weekends I've got to teach knitting classes. I'm going to cast on something new to cheer myself up, and I did. So there we go. I got a strand of yarn going in front of there. But it's really, really pretty, and the yarn that I'm using is mini skeins from Giddy Yarns. I had bought a little set of mini skeins last year. Giddy Yarns was doing a bit of a sale, a bit of a, is it a destash? It's not a destash, it is a sale. She'd reduced the price of some of the stock that she had, and I managed to pick up 2 bundles. Let me just move that out of the way so it doesn't fall. So that's the other colourways here that I have. There was 2 mini skein bundles, so there was 5 mini skeins in each bundle, just 20 gram mini skeins, and I can't even remember the order they came in, but that's 6 of them there. And that's Giddy Yarns label. You'll probably all have seen that lots of times before. And they don't actually have colourways on them. One of them just says number 5 and the other one said number 1. I don't know if it was just random mini skeins that she had lying about and she threw them into bundles just to make mini skein bundles for selling. But again, it's a 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon. That is the next colour that I'm going on to. I was trying to lump it so my pinks were together, and then it will change and go into purples. But I'm not sure how quickly I'll get this done, but I'll just work on it. If and when I've got the time, because I've got other knitting plans and crochet plans for the rest of the year, and I am knitting this on a 3.5. Now the pattern recommends a 4mm, but I know from many years knitting, just past experience, that I like to knit 4-ply yarn for shawls and wraps on a 375. I didn't have 375s free, so I used my 3.5, and I really like the fabric that this is creating. Now I've made a couple of changes to the pattern. It's not an error with the pattern or anything like that, it's just my preference. You were to slip the first stitch on every row and knit the last stitch, and I didn't like the edge that I had. It's maybe my tension, it's maybe even the yarn that I've used, I don't know. It was really loose and it was really untidy, and I'd actually got a wee bit further on than this. I had joined in that colour and I thought, I'm really not liking this, I don't like that edge at all. And also you were to slip the stitches here in the colour work section, you were to slip some stitches as well, but you slipped them all knitwise, and I didn't like the twist because I was slipping them knitwise. I looked on other people's projects on Ravelry, and someone else had said they contacted the designer and she said you should slip them knitwise on the right side but purlwise on the wrong side. And I thought, right, maybe I should try that. And I emailed the designer myself to ask her, but she did say they're all slipped knitwise. I just didn't like the wee twist. It's just my preference. So I ripped the whole thing out and started again, and I've just got knit 2 at the beginning of every row. I just find my edge is much neater doing it like that. So although that's all I've got done in it, I have knitted this bit twice. That's a theme with me right now, isn't it? Ripping everything out or making mistakes and redoing it. I'm enjoying my knitting so much I have to rip it out and do it again. But it's lovely, and it's going to be really nice once it's finished. I don't actually know how long I'm going to make it. I'm just going to use the 10 mini skeins that I've got, and I'll see how long it is, because maybe it'll even just be long enough to sew one end to the other and make just a cowl rather than a wrap. But we'll see how long it is once there's the 10 colours on. But I'm loving it so far. I really do like that pattern. A wee bit of lace, and there's some twisted stitches here and a wee bit of colour work as well. It's nice. And the colours just work for me as well because it's all pink. So it was quite, when I was feeling sorry for myself that weekend, because it was my last weekend off and for another 3 weeks, that cheered me up. And even the ripping it out and knitting again, that wasn't a bother. Right, let me put this away. Right, I've changed everything about, and now I'm ready to move on to the crochet section. And I'm going to show you the crochet project that I have been working on for an hour a day. I did show you this before. I showed you in my Whip Parade video. I had just started it, and I'd only worked on it for an hour. So, and this is how it is looking so far. It's a wee bit bigger. It was only 5.5 inches the last time I showed it. Now I've worked on this for a grand total of 3.5 hours. Yeah, 3.5 hours, I think. Let me check. Because I have a little chart with the information on it. Nope, 4.5 hours it's been. I'm really enjoying working on this. And even just that wee bit each day, I find I'm only getting maybe 2 or 3 rounds done because I'm quite a slow knitter and I'm also quite a slow crocheter as well. And I like the fabric, I like what I'm producing, what's creating. I like what's coming off my hook or what's coming off my needle, so I don't try and speed up. I'm just happy the way it is. The yarn that I'm using for this is this one. It's the Woolly Whirl, and it is, what is in here, is it cotton? 70% cotton, 30% wool. Now I picked this up in a, what do you call it, a jumbo sale? A D-stash in a church. And I got it for £5. There's a few wee ends hanging out. Jaden was round last night and he was helping me crochet. So he was pulling it all out, pulling all the yarn out for me so I could get on with the crochet. So I've got quite a wee bundle of yarn to crochet up. So that's how it's looking so far. The colours will obviously change as you work through the cake. And I'm really enjoying just working on this. There was a couple of days that I didn't work on it because, as I say, I was down in Castle Douglas teaching a knitting class. That's down in the southwest coast of Scotland. It's about maybe about an hour and 45 minutes to 2 hours drive from here. But it's a really nice wee town. If you get the chance, go there. They've got a beautiful craft shop. They really have. But this one I picked up when I was in Fettercairn. Fettercairn is in the northeast, and I was there at the beginning of December. And the class that I was teaching was held in a church hall. And this church hall actually had tables right along one side of the hall that was full of stuff. It was like a bring and buy sale. So there was loads of stuff that people could buy, take away with them. And I think it's open to the public once a week as well. They can come in and see what's there, like kids' toys, ornaments, just anything that was still in good condition and can be used again. And then one of the ladies had said at one point, "Oh, did you see underneath there's a box with yarn in it?" So I brought home 4 different yarns. Not that I'm needing them, but so I thought I don't want this just to lie. And when Jaden said he loved it, I thought, right, I know he's a wee boy, but I'm going to crochet him up a blanket and he can just use it at home because he loves the colour pink. So, and I don't even know how big this is going to get. It might not be suitable for him. It might be too small, but he's going to have a baby sister soon. It can be used as a car seat for the car seat, couldn't it? But it's quite interesting to see how the colours are changing. The only thing I don't like about this yarn is every time the colours change, it's 4 strands of yarn. So in the middle it's the dark pink, and then gradually it changes and 3 strands of the dark and there's 1 strand light, and then you crochet for a wee bit longer and it's 2 strands of dark, 2 strands light. And now I'm on to the bit where it's 1 strand of dark, 3 strands of light. But every time it changes colour, just that 1 strand changes colour, there's a big lump in the yarn and you can't leave it in. It would be noticeable because it's really fine. So I've had to actually snap the yarn and just rejoin it. So I'll need to I'll sew the ends in at the end, but I've got all the ends where the colour changes are, which is a wee bit disappointing. But I don't know if that's normal with this type of wool, because I've never actually used that type of wool before, these colour changing cakes. But I'll show you that next time and you can see how much it's grown. I'm going to try and get caught up with, I will try and get caught up with Saturday and Sunday that I didn't work in it because I wasn't here, because I'm enjoying it. And it'd be interesting to see how much you can get done just in a month, just 1 hour a day. So, what next? The whips. More whips to show you. I can't believe I found another 3 actually. 2 of them I knew about, and I don't know how I managed to forget all about them, but I did know about 2 of them. And one of them I'm really annoyed about because I'd actually been working on it before that video and put it somewhere else and forgot all about it. So this is one of the ones that I forgot about. This is the one that I was working on. This is going to be a little pansy because I love little pansy flowers. I think pansies are one of my favourite flowers. And this is the wee I've crocheted. I started this a year ago and I couldn't figure out the pattern. I didn't spend that much time on it, to be honest, but I couldn't figure out where I was going wrong. I couldn't get, you made these wee petals and I couldn't figure out how you joined them onto the head, and I just wasn't getting the instructions at all. And then I looked it out about a week ago and thought, somebody in the Toft Addicts group has got to have made this on Facebook. I'm going to go look on there. And yeah, it was pretty straightforward. The instructions were pretty vague, but I should have been able to figure it out. And I started again. Sorry, I didn't start again. I started working on it again. But that'll be the little flower head. You join those little petals round here and sew those onto the head. And the little flower also needs a little bit of trimming. You have to trim round the edges with a different colour. And my plan was to use the magenta, Toft Magenta, to trim the flowers. But you can't do that because pansies aren't like that. They're lighter in the middle. No, sorry, they're darker in the middle and then they get lighter as they come out. And I thought, well, that's not going to work. And then I thought, does it really matter? It's my flower, I can do what I want with it. But I think it's supposed to be darker in the middle and then lighter in the outside. So that's the way I'm going to do it. So Toft have just released a new colourway, and this is the peony colourway. That's the original pink there. That's the magenta. And there's the peony. Well, that peony's quite close to my jumper, isn't it? The pink on my jumper. Maybe no. Maybe it's all in my head. But there we go. So that's the 3 shades of pink. And I'll be able to use some of this for crocheting that cardigan next July when I get round to that as well. Those little hexagons to make into a cardigan. So, and now I'm actually wondering, oh, should you rip it out? Should you redo it and do the head in magenta, and then you could have that pink or the magenta? And I'm like, nope, leave it the way it is. You're not ripping it out and doing it again, because I'll never get it finished then, will I? So that's one of the things I have to finish, one of the other things. And I've got 2 wee legs here, because the wee flowers all have legs. And I've started an arm. I've got one of the arms here started. So I've got an arm and a half to do and finish the petals. I think there's a couple of back petals that go on as well. So those front petals, these ones get around the front. And then a few of them, another couple of petals for at the back. I'm not very good at this, am I? But you get the gist, don't you? The wee petals on the front like this. And then there's another couple of petals that come out the lighter colour as well. So that is my Toft Pansy. Make sure I say the right flower. And that is whip number 22. Ah dear. Ah dear. Oh, I did think I could do the edging in white. You can tell me what you think. Trim the flower. Do around the edges of the petals, and it's not actually white, it's cream. It's Toft cream, or go with the peony. What do you think would look best for trimming the... How am I trying to hold this up? Oh my goodness. Get around the edges of the petals with white or with the peony. You can let me know what you think. The pet would look nice around the edge of the petals. I'm really liking that peony colourway actually. That only just came today. You should have seen my husband's face when the postman brought another Toft box. He's like, have you not got like 20 odd whips to be working through? Why do you need more Toft yarn? I did try to tell him I'd won a prize, but because I did win a prize, wait, I'll show you. Before Christmas, I put in an order, a Toft order, during Extravaganza, and I won a prize. I won this prize before Christmas, and I couldn't believe it. I'd only ordered something like a couple of vials of beads, and then the box came through and I'm like, that box is way too big for some beads. And it was. I won a prize. So, it's not a whip yet. I've not started it. And it's probably going to sit in the box on a shelf so I can look at it and go, oh, that's right, I won a prize for like the next 5 years. Right, what were the other whips I was to show you? This one here. Little Red Riding Hood. I think I've shown you this before in a previous episode, way back at the start, probably in 2020 when I was first filming. And she's still not finished. But this is supposed to be Little Red Riding Hood from this book here. She's not got much to do. Sorry, I don't have much to do to finish her. But she's whip number 23. And she's lovely. And one day she will be finished. Right, and the last crochet whip that I've found for now, I hope it is the last one, I don't think I've got any more, is in these boxes here. See, I'm all very organised. And I've got loads, you should see the amount of notebooks I've got. I've been cleaning out this room. You should see the number of notebooks. And there's notes for this here and there's notes for that there. I need to have one notebook for each, either for each project or for each craft, whether I have a knitting one, I have a crochet one, I have a patchwork one, I maybe have a sewing one. I have one for when I'm on my Zoom meetings with the SWI, because I've got lots and lots of meetings that I take part in for that, because there's some meetings at Edinburgh, there's meetings at Ayrshire, there's meetings even now and again my own institute hold meetings. There's lots and lots of meetings. Right, so this box here is to make the little box of crochet, the Santa. This was the Advent box from 2021. I didn't start it in Advent. I started it last February and I was going to use it for my crochet test with the SWI. And I was doing really well and I was getting through it quite well, really was making good progress with it, and then I caught COVID and I thought, I can't finish this, I just can't do it. I was just too ill, couldn't concentrate, and then I thought if I felt that ill as well, my tension would be off and it was to get put in for a test. So the Snow Queen went in instead and I didn't finish this, and I didn't even finish it for Christmas last year either, which is ridiculous. So let me show you what I've done with this. I've got boxes in here. I've got boxes, look, boxes inside of boxes, inside of boxes to keep all the bits organised. Oh, I need to get a grip. I need to get myself organised and get all these things finished. Right, so this is his jacket. Now what you do is you make a cardboard frame. You were supposed to make like a cardboard frame out of the box that it came in. I didn't keep the box. I thought there's always lots of cardboard boxes lying in here. Maybe the occasional Toft box, I could use that. But that's his coat. And what you do is you wrap the coat around the cone. You make a cone from cardboard and you wrap that round and stitch it into place. There will be a wee gap in his coat, there is, and you make a red bit for in the middle there. if I can hold that up, you'll see just in here. So there is a wee bit to fill the gap and cover the cardboard. But that's his cloak. And do you know what else I was doing with this? I was keeping a wee list of what I made and how long each part took me. So that bit there, it took me 22.5 hours to crochet that. See, I was trying to get organised last year. I don't know, I think it's these Evelyn Baxter classes, it's these knitting classes. They have just taken so much out of me, I'm not joking. Especially when you do 10 classes in the space of 3 months, and a lot of that time you're travelling, you're away from home. It's a 2-day class each time, and it has been a lot of hard work. And I think that's probably why I ended up so ill over Christmas. I think it really did just take a lot out of me. It was really draining. Really pushed me out of my comfort zone. But then again, if I hadn't been that far pushed out of my comfort zone and I hadn't been that ill, I wouldn't have my steroid inhaler right now. So I would still be feeling run down and ill. And so although I'm saying I was really run down and ill, I found out that I needed a steroid inhaler. So there's always a silver lining, isn't there? So anyway, the coat, sidetracking, the coat, 22.5 hours work. Now you're probably looking at this and thinking, you've got to be joking. But remember I said I'm not a fast crafter. But this is all Rowan yarns that's in this. It was quite an expensive kit to buy, which is another reason why things shouldn't be lying about, because when you've spent the amount of money on them that they cost, you should appreciate them, you should be using them, you should be getting joy out of the making. They shouldn't just be lying. And this is the hood. Golly, that would practically fit me, wouldn't it? No quite. As if my hair's no fly away and sticky up and off. I'm going to put a silly Santa hat on. I'm just trying to see how long this one took me to make. 6 hours and 10 minutes. Just for the wee hood. So his coat's done, his hood's done, and the Christmas tree is done that he holds next to him. I mean, that's quite a lot of the big pieces are done. This was 11 hours worth of crochet. And this is the little tree that he's holding at the side. I mean, he's some size, isn't he? You think, when you see this online, you think, oh, it's not that big. It'll just be like this size, maybe. I think he's going to be some size once he's done. And I'm a tight crocheter as well, so my things tend to turn out a bit smaller. My Toft makes are always smaller than Kerry Lord's are. And I think the only other piece that I had started on, so his coat's done, the Christmas tree's done, and I started on his head as well. That was in the other wee box. So there's his head. And I had been working on the head. Oh, I'm not sure how long that's taken me, but I'll have it written down somewhere, because I've got endless little bits of paper everywhere with notes on. They should all be in a notepad. Should be better organised. Oh, that was actually my little tension swatch. But I was under, but I kept going because I liked the fabric. I don't like when my stuffing shows through. I really don't like when my stuffing shows through it at all. And that is whip number 24. I really should get that finished for Christmas. Maybe have a little Christmas in July make along. That would be nice. Oh, I need to start planning for that, won't I? Get myself organised for it. And that is all the crochet that I have to show you today. I don't actually have any sewing to show you. I haven't been sewing at all. It's been so long since I used my sewing machine. I think I'm going to have to go to a beginner's sewing class. I've probably forgotten how to thread it and how to switch it on. But I have cleaned out my fabric cupboard. That has had a good going through. I can give you a wee look at that. And I can show you the before and I can show you the after as well. But that's taken quite a bit of work to get my fabric cupboard sorted out. But I have gone through everything. I've gone through everything box by box. My husband helped me. Bless him. I think he thought it was going to be like an episode of Stacey Solomon on Sort Your Life Out in 7 days. And we would just get everything all out in one place and I could sort it all out and keep that. That can go, that can get donated. I didn't have enough space to lay out all the fabric that I have. So I went through it one box at a time and I have managed to de-stash quite a wee bit. So I'm listing it on eBay as we speak. I am gradually getting there, taking photographs of it and listing it on. So I will get rid of it all eventually, and if it doesn't sell on eBay, I'll just hand it in. I need to find a charity or something. See, even somewhere local that maybe they take fabric in because they run craft classes or whatever, and I don't know, there could be Ukrainians close by that they don't have fabric to sew with, so you could maybe hand it in there, or a Women's Aid or something, because I'm not going to use it. I've got enough. As you see, I've got enough and I don't need any more. I have got one box listed on eBay already, and that is the other box that I've got to list. So I've still got quite a bit to work through and just clear out and get rid of. Although I know I don't want it, I'm trying to either sell it or I need to find somewhere else to donate it to. But apart from that, I've not got any sewing to show you. And I think that's all I've got to share with you today. That is me. I thought this was going to be quicker, shorter and quicker than this, but sometimes I get a bit sidetracked, don't I? So what I'm going to do, I'll get this published as soon as I can, and if you want to take part in the testing it, you can let me know. You can fill in the Google form. And next week I'm going to try and video my knitting whips to show you. I don't have as many knitting whips. I'm absolutely positive I don't have as many knitting whips as my crochet whips. But I'll get that video made and I'll try and get that uploaded next week. Okay, so you can see all of those too. I'm going to have people walking behind me ringing the shame bell, aren't I? Shame, get your whips done. Get your whips done, women. Anyway, I will see you soon. And thanks for watching. Bye.